Um, it usually takes a couple moments for the stream to pick up, so we'll give that a little bit of time. Also, while people are joining the stream, um, just wanted to introduce our speakers today. Um, okay, that's all good. We actually got one speaker. We're here with Artemis today. Very excited about today's session. Um, we're very anxious, excited to see what Jimmy has in store for us today. He'll be telling us about Artemis, which is an awesome platform. Artemis is a crypto data analytics platform aggregating all the metrics that matter in one place. So the benefit for you as an analyst is that today you will discover a very comprehensive set of tooling available for blockchain application level analysis specifically. And you walk away from this presentation with a deep understanding of how to track the growth of categories and applications across blockchains, and how to discover new and upcoming smart contracts and dapps. Jimmy will be telling us about all this. He's the COO of Artemis, but in actuality, he does everything from research to strategy to product. So this is the guy that you want to hear about and learn from. And without further ado, I'll pass it to him. Jimmy, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, and really appreciate you bringing on Artemis and the team to talk to everyone here today. So yeah, very much appreciate the opportunity. As a quick introduction on our side, I'm Jimmy, and we are a small team of builders at Artemis. We got 6 or 7 folks all around the world, and we love to build crypto data analytics tools for retail, for institutional folks, and for just investors all around the world. So as a really quick introduction, I just want to share a little bit about Artemis to begin the presentation. Like we were so kindly introduced, we are an analytics platform that is currently aggregating all of the crypto metrics that matter in one place. We, coming from our past lives in finance and technology and data science, recognize that blockchain technology is, hard to understand for both traditional investors as well as just anyone trying to invest in crypto, which is becoming a larger and larger proportion of the world. So our mission is truly to help folks like yourself and everyone else in the world really understand these metrics from developing metrics from open source repos to what's going on in Ethereum, or what do Polygon users currently play games for, and all of those questions are exactly what we're trying to get to the bottom of. So as a quick overview of the team, we got this cute set of 7 folks on this page, and as a brief introduction, we've got John, who's our co-founder and CEO, who's been our fearless leader for about the last year, coming from a traditional investing background. Anthony's been at Google and Venmo for a very long time. Nirmal from Holocene and Microsoft, Sun from Meta and Coinbase, and Kevin from Modern Treasury and BlackRock. So kind of a team of, I would say, degens and professional kind of backgrounds that love crypto and data. So from there, I'm going to quickly switch over to our main page. Okay. Sorry. Oh. Wait, sorry, you guys are still able to hear and see me? Uh, hey guys, apologies for that. I'm back. I'm back. So sorry about the inconvenience, folks. Um, so just going back to where we were trying to lead. So as impetus for kind of the Artemis product, where we really wanted to start, and we take a lot of inspiration from again traditional finance and technology, and the the business we kind of look up to and think about a lot is sorry, is it frozen again? Can you hear or see my screen? Okay, so today we wanted to walk through a few of our different products that really highlight uh, the approach we've taken to building a product that really allows people to understand what's going on at the blockchain, smart contract, application, and category level. So, again, taking inspiration from really great traditional finance products such as Bloomberg and Capital IQ, which we're familiar with from our past lives, we wanted to build something that really encapsulated uh, all of the tenets that an institutional analyst like yourself would think about when investing in crypto, a new and emerging asset class. So, with that said, today we want to walk through two core products that Artemis currently offers, one of which being Artemis Sheets, and the other being the Artemis Dashboard. Within the dashboard, there are there are a number of different pages, categories, and features that we're going to highlight to make you a better Web3 analyst. So to start, the Artemis homepage currently is this is feedback from the community, but it's the most comprehensive place to get standardized metrics across 15 plus different chains. If you go to our site, and our investors and folks kind of check it every day for a few different reasons. One is mainly to gauge the health of different blockchain networks. On this first page, on the fundamentals tab, you can see some of the core metrics that define the health of different blockchain networks, from Solana to Ethereum to Near to Polygon, and some of the more up and coming chains, including Polygon, DK, EVM, as well as even Bitcoin and some of the larger OG majors. So it's the one-stop shop for you to get the fundamental data that kind of matters for you to understand whether or not there's real traction going on any blockchain network in the world. So from here, you can kind of scroll through, and different investors focus on different things. So fees and revenues is obviously a pretty big component when trying to understand from a fundamental level what is really driving the underlying business. And in this case, the business being the blockchain network, Ethereum or Bitcoin or Polygon, and how does that compare to something like the market value of the business? So we see investors kind of cycling through all of these different tabs, understanding how stablecoins are growing across different blockchains as a proxy for willingness to transact and liquidity available on a specific blockchain network. Social, obviously, driving a significant amount of just retail attention and traction that could be another leading indicator for whether or not a layer 1 blockchain is gaining appetite from both investors and developers, and then some more basic price and market cap data, as well as some multiples that help ground investors in comparable metrics across similar platforms. So this is generally where investors start on our website, and we've heard from a number of different institutional funds that this is kind of their homepage, where they come to check out the chains that they care about the most on a day-to-day basis, understand where DEX volumes are kind of trending up and down, and then from here they figure out where to do more work. So I'll give an example now of how someone might go from this view into a different part of our website, which goes even deeper into some of these key questions. So let's say, for example, that I wanted to figure out, I come to my chain comparison tab, I'm looking at Avalanche and I'm comparing it to Ethereum, and I see this interesting trend that Avalanche has seen a pretty big increase in usage over the last couple of days, over the last half month, and I think that's quite interesting. Daily transactions have also spiked in a pretty meaningful way. Doesn't seem like DEX volumes have moved materially, but there's a little bit of inflection in the last couple of days, and Ethereum seems to be steady to down. So what's happening on Avalanche, and how can we figure that out? Well, we're really excited to kind of talk about this next feature that our team has been working really for quite a long time on, which is the blockchain activity monitor. And this core question of people thinking about whether or not there's actual activity taking place on blockchains has been an age-old question. You see Arbitrum pump or Polygon pump and Dogecoin pump, and you're trying to figure out, is it all the same? Are people, is there real activity happening on all three of them? Are they all meme coins? And these are questions that people have been, asking forever, and we've never really had the data to understand or to reconcile. So today we're really happy to kind of show off this product that our team has been working on for quite a while, which is, walking through exactly that, which is what is going on all of these different blockchain platforms. And in the example that I just kind of talked about in the Ethereum and Avalanche, where I'm trying to understand why did Avalanche, daily active addresses go up from 38K to 70, 80K, and I can go straight to the trending activity monitor and look at Avalanche and basically immediately pin down what applications have drawn some of the largest movements in either gas usage, transactions, or daily active addresses. So in this case, I'm actually able to very quickly identify some of the largest changes in active addresses, as well as kind of purely from a numbers perspective. Sorry, I'm gotta get it. Avalanche. From a numbers perspective, what the largest applications currently being used on Avalanche really are. And from this, we can kind of see, oh, wow, like, Circle, the stablecoin, USDC is obviously a very highly utilized address contract. Stargate is a DeFi application that's seeing a ton of usage. And BTC.B, which is the Bitcoin, wrap Bitcoin on Avalanche, is also seeing a substantial amount of usage. So it actually seems like there's a lot of kind of stablecoin and Bitcoin activity, as well as one DEX or one DeFi application that's really driving a lot of that usage. So now I can actually click into the application and see that in a graphical representation and understand, wow, like this specific DeFi application, Stargate, is driving a ton of usage and has grown very substantially in the last month. And that gives me impetus to go and try to do more work in understanding why. Here, I can actually go down to the contracts and pull out the actual Snowtrace contract that directs me to the underlying transactions that make up the Artemis composition dashboard. So we're trying to allow our analysts to go to the most granular level for every application, every smart contract, all the way down to the scanner level to understand what's going on these blockchains. I think important to note, there's actually another view that I really love, which is just the composition kind of tops down view. So we've kind of walked through how to go from chain comparison, finding a trend, finding an inflection, and then walking into the trending activity and screener, and then eventually getting to the composition view where we can graphically see the growth in certain applications. And this, again, applies across transactions, and we can also see similar trends across gas, meaning that there's increasing willingness to pay for this specific application. To do more work on this, we do require to go outside of the application. So just understanding, Stargate, decentralized finance, Avalanche is something that I would go and to another platform to better understand what's actually going on and driving the growth. And I would also, check Twitter as a obvious second measure of understanding the traction of the protocol. So seeing just like scrolling through and understanding, wow, like they've just crossed 1 billion in monthly volume for the first time. Clearly, these guys have been growing. They've been going cross chain. They sit on Binance Smart Chain. They're seeing a ton of new transactions, and also significant volume kind of coming through. And that's kind of where I'd start in terms of going from the very high level chain comparison tab to blockchain activity monitor, trending applications and categories, and then eventually drilling down to understanding that this is one of the applications that's driving substantial user growth within Avalanche specifically. So with that, I want to walk through another kind of view that I personally really enjoy, and this is something that our team is this is actually my homepage, and how I kind of think about looking at blockchain activity, which is a top-down view of what's going on everywhere. So here, what we're showing is we have currently 6 EVM compatible chains. It's Arbitrum, Avalanche, Binance Smart Chain, Ethereum, Polygon, and Optimism. And you're actually able to see all of them in a single view and understand how active addresses, transactions, and gas have played into the growth of each individual protocol. So we can see here that there's actually been a huge amount of interest and growth across these just 6 EVM compatible blockchains, even in the last month, with across DeFi specifically, and that's driven by Arbitrum and a few other. This is just Stargate, but you'll probably see similar trends across the entirety of the DeFi ecosystem, where there's been meaningful growth actually on the total active address side, going from roughly 300,000 to over 400,000 total addresses that are active across these 6 blockchains that we cover. If we wanted to see an even higher level view, we can actually see this is all active addresses across all categories, and we'll get into that, and all applications for every single smart contract on these 6 chains. And across the last month, you can see that we've kind of broken 2.5 million daily active users, with a little bit of a decline in the last couple of days, but we're actually able to segment that across all of these different blockchains. So we can do deeper work in understanding, yes, we have lower usage in this day versus that day, but is it caused by Arbitrum? Is it caused by Binance Smart Chain? How is Ethereum kind of holding up in comparison, and what's actually going on these blockchains? So that's where we're headed next, which is this incredible kind of application and category level view that our team has pretty painstakingly put together. So at the bottom of the page, you're able to see what we've categorized as, application buckets that define the activity that's happening on blockchains today. So, as an example, DeFi is obviously a huge bucket and is very active on Ethereum, and is actually the number one application category across chains. If you click into that category, you can actually see here for each chain the gas transactions and daily active addresses that have been utilized on DeFi over any period of time that you so choose. So we can go further out. You can see actually that things were quite active during the FTX collapse, and a lot of chains were activated, and a lot of active addresses were transacting. And if you go even further, you can kind of see the impact of what happened during other parts of the day. And you can see Polygon actually seeing a ton of volume over this short period of time in October, which I'm actually curious about, and I'll go look into at a different point. But you're able to get this bird's eye view of what is actually happening, and we can dive in even deeper and look at the applications that make up these movements. So over the last 24 hours, we can actually very clearly lay out all of the applications within DeFi that have generated the most kind of usage across platforms. So I just hit back, get back to this view. So categories, let's do DeFi. And what you can see again is, just Uniswap on Ethereum is still by far the most utilized application from a gas perspective. So willingness to pay to use Uniswap on Ethereum layer 1 still is heads and shoulders above any other application out there. Like $8.5 million in gas willing to transact on Uniswap. It's an order of magnitude larger than 1inch or LX Matcha. But actually, if you look at daily active addresses, you see that PancakeSwap still has the largest kind of proportion of users with 213,000 users, but only utilizing a much smaller gas balance. So it's quite interesting to compare these trends across different applications to understand. Even though you have many more users, the actual economic activity or willingness to pay of the users of that platform could be meaningfully lower, which could result in a very different kind of revenue or fee number for that underlying protocol. So with that said, our team has kind of gone through and built out a number of categories that we now share on this website. And I'm going to pop this out. So actually, if you hover over this, you can see the individual definitions of the applications that we have built out. And that's everything from DeFi subcategories will include exchanges, lend borrows, insurance, derivatives, NFT marketplaces. We have centralized finance, which is smart contracts owned by Coinbase or hot wallets. Social, which is collaboration, decision making on blockchain networks. Utility, layer 2s, bridges. A lot of them are relatively self-explanatory, but the full definition of these application categories that we have labeled ourselves is laid out in our documentation, as well as on the website in this little tooltip. So I want to take us to another kind of optimal view that I really like looking at. So again, this is kind of, I come here every day, I look at across chains, and I want to understand how activity in a certain place has changed, and whether there's new chains or smart contracts that are kind of popping off, and how to identify them in a similar way that we identified that Stargate is a growing application on. It sounds like there's multiple chains where it's growing pretty rapidly. So on this composition tab, now I'm looking at understanding how different categories and different category applications are growing in in different ways. And here I'm looking for trends of how certain applications kind of fall off, or certain categories decline or increase over time. And I think more recently we've been seeing this rise of the layer 2 ecosystem. So that's something that I'm personally interested in, and I want to do a little bit more kind of work on Ethereum specifically. So after looking at this and not seeing anything, in that I want to jump into right now, I would like to go to the Ethereum kind of layer 2 ecosystem and better understand how that's been developing, just given that the narrative on Twitter and everything else has been that layer 2s have been growing in a meaningful way, and it's also been taking up more and more gas on Ethereum layer 1. So we're actually able to see this interesting view where if I look at all of the application categories, and I want to see that as sorry, I can just select all. And I want to see that as a percent share over time. And I'm trying to look at, how do layer 2 platforms, and we can go deeper into what layer 2 platforms are here. And I can just eliminate from the graph all of the individual applications I don't want to see. And I can look at specifically how layer 2s as a percentage of, oh, okay, I'll do that again. Dum, bum, bum. Yeah, really want to get to this view. Yeah, and here I have a better sense of, what is actually happening. Layer 2s as a percentage of total Ethereum gas has actually gone up very meaningfully from 3% at the beginning of the year to something much closer to almost 20% on some days. So what actually goes into the layer 2 kind of bucket? That's what I actually want to know. So now, not only do I understand that layer 2s have been growing, I can actually go in and understand what are the individual layer 2 applications that have been driving that change. So I can go down here, this is by Ethereum, it's just a single bar. I can go and highlight all of the different applications at one time. And view, oh yeah, you got Ronin, Starknet, all your favorites, Immutable X, Metis. And yeah, this is our team hand labeling these contracts. But now you can actually look at, not only can you understand that gas has increased dramatically for the entire layer 2 ecosystem, you can actually drill down even further and understand what are the individual applications and smart contracts that have driven that growth. So for example, I think Arbitrum airdrop was on the 23rd, and you actually see this huge spike in gas. And the ARB token, if we were to go into the contract, is probably where the vast majority of that is coming from. But in the meantime, you also see ZK Sync coming from behind. You see that little red bar at the bottom. It's really taken off in the last call it 3 weeks, and it's actually become a much larger proportion of total gas paid. With that said, Arbitrum is still just it looks like heads and shoulders above everybody else in terms of utilization. This is gas, but we can look at active addresses as well. There's actually a bit of a nuance here. Yeah, so active addresses actually, you're seeing a slightly different story with Starknet and ZK Sync really taking the cake for. There's between Starknet and ZK Sync. So basically, these ZK solutions, they're taking up looks like 80-90% of the active addresses on our platform right now. So it's pretty incredible to see, especially on these days where we're hitting almost 80K active addresses across all layer 2 contracts and interacting with Ethereum layer 1. These are pretty incredible numbers to kind of understand and see. Obviously, there's probably a number of airdrop farmers, probably some in the chat today that contributed to these numbers, and we've seen kind of a fall off of ZK Sync since that time. But that's largely where our team has been spending time understanding the usage of different applications, the contracts that kind of roll up to the parent and application level, trying to understand growth in categories. Again, like gaming, for example, is something that we've been very focused on, and we've seen that kind of spike in a few different areas, and I think specifically on Polygon. And one thing that we thought was quite interesting to see is the kind of let's see if we can go back 6 months. Oh yeah, wow, yeah. We see some pretty interesting patterns with Polygon gaming in particular, where you're starting to see 60,000 addresses regularly kind of interacting with applications on Polygon. And I do believe it is largely and very much Planet 9 or Planet IX, where it's just blown every single other gaming application on Polygon that we currently track out of the water. You can see 35,000 active addresses. If we click into Planet 9, it basically makes up for the bulk of that activity. It is literally, the shape of this curve is due to Planet 9, and I believe it was due to some change in their smart contract or some upgrade that we see this change. But we also are not 100% clear on real usage versus bot activity, and there's a few other nuances that kind of go into these numbers, but it's still very clear that it's the gaming application that is consuming the most gas and also is seeing the most number of users on any gaming platform. So with that said, all of this is just the beginning. The Artemis team and putting out kind of composition, chain comparison. We also didn't actually get into, we have developer commit data where we're able to track kind of different projects, and you're able to kind of triangulate between the active addresses on the chain comparison page to the underlying activity on the blockchain activity monitor to where devs actually building and are people contributing to projects. You're able to do that all in one place within Artemis. And we think that makes it one of the most powerful tools for understanding the fundamentals that really drive price as well as growth in the underlying crypto ecosystem. So like I said, this is just the beginning for us, and we're proud of the small steps that we've taken in this direction to help everyone here and hopefully the world in the future understand what's going on blockchains. But there's so much more that we can do. We are working on a number of different features to expand upon this data set, and we very much want to take feedback from the community in order to better understand what questions you care about and how we can eventually address them in this view or in one of our other products. So with that said, I'm going to move to a different view. Let's see. I'm going to move to a different sheet. So I wanted to now talk about a different product that we offer. So again, we take real inspiration from the Bloombergs, the Capital IQs of the world, and we have this web application where you're able to do a lot of your deep analytical work and read, understand, find trends, but you want to actually graph things out or look at historical data in kind of a lower level language that allows you to build graphs or do correlations or basically any kind of analytical work that you would do at a traditional finance firm. So I'm going to share my screen again. Let's see. Boy. Let me know if you guys can see this. Okay. So I want to talk a little bit more about our Excel product, and I will first explain why we have an Excel product, because I think that is something that folks do wonder about, and I think it really comes back to this traditional finance background that some folks on our team have come from, and we've there are a billion Excel users in the world, and it is one of the most powerful platforms for understanding financial analysis and today crypto analysis. So for us, we're looking to empower analysts such as yourselves and institutional research analysts to better understand and ultimately invest behind tokens and trends. So what we have is, a set of tools that allows you to pull in any kind of fundamental data you can think of into your core workflow, which is your Excel sheet. So I'm going to walk through just a few small examples of how you might use this, and then walk through some of the community curated templates and models that folks have built and shared online. So for what we're looking at right now is kind of our core layer one, comps table, where we have a number of things that you would care about. And I check this basically every day, understanding what price looks like across a whole host of layer one assets. The change over certain periods of time. This can be customizable to whatever time frame you personally care about. Circulating market cap, obviously, and you're able to see this. You're able to kind of see everything across a single row, so that all of the information that you care about is in one place, and ultimately understanding, fully diluted market cap and understanding some of the metrics that you might care about. So, market cap to TVL, market cap as a percentage of Ethereum, stablecoin volume as a multiple of TVL. These are kind of the core metrics that investors coalesce around to just get a sense of which ecosystems are interesting or important to look into. So from here, we have, again, some more detail around these core metrics, including stablecoin volume, how it's changed across different assets. So this is something that I like to look at quite a lot. We can see that stablecoin volume is largely concentrated in several of the largest chains, whether it be Ethereum or Binance Smart Chain. Arbitrum and Polygon have now seen $1 billion+ in TVL kind of flow in. Stablecoin volume flow in, and we really think of that as a leading indicator for whether people are going to transact on the platform. Just given that stablecoins are kind of the lifeblood of the crypto ecosystem to date. With, I think there's a stat on Twitter posted, $7 trillion in transactions were settled on stablecoins last year. And if there's an inflow in stablecoins, that likely is an indicator that people are bringing money into the system and want to find ways to utilize it. So interestingly enough, Arbitrum is one of the is talk of the town these days, and there's been a very large movement in stablecoin volume over the last 3 months as well as the last month. And there's been, obviously part of that has been associated with the airdrop, but there's a lot of kind of volume coming into the system, which is now very much reflected in kind of the DeFi numbers and the active addresses that we show on Artemis. Daily active addresses, daily transactions, all of this is also very much in line with just health of an ecosystem, seeing that grow, seeing how that changes over time is something that we track pretty closely. So this is all available on our website for download. Anyone can kind of jump in and get this into your own Excel or Google Sheet and start utilizing it right away. Similar kind of information presented in a different format on the comps table. If we also have templates available for DeFi projects as well as other layer ones. And the one thing I wanted to note before we kind of jump into some of the community-oriented templates, we're able to get what I think is quite powerful about this tool is we have 3+ years of historical data that you're able to kind of work with, play with, and ultimately, manipulate to however you need. You can use it to build correlations. You can use it to better understand, activity on across blockchains. We've done a little bit of kind of correlation work on understanding the relationship between TVL, active addresses, and price. And there's more that we're kind of actively working to understand. But all of this is surfaceable within the plugin and is not something you can get in any other place. And for example, we've run some just basic analyses on how market cap for ETH has tracked with TVL, and it is tracked very, very closely. And these are two separate axes, and TVL is a much smaller number nominally, but the overall shape of the curve has been pretty perfect over time. And we're looking to surface the metrics that again investors care about and will ultimately drive action over time. So from there, I do want to share just a few things. Sorry, I'm just going to try to stop sharing. Come on. Let's see. All right. I'm going to show now. Okay. So now I'm going to share something different, which is what we really love about the Artemis product is that we're able to showcase and we're able to share. And today we want to showcase some of the work that our community has kind of done around the Artemis plugin. So again, we have a Google Sheets and an Excel Excel plugin that you're able to do fundamental analysis with. And we have customers and community members that love using it and sharing it in a way that allows anyone to interact with these sheets. So for example, Crypto Ian, big analyst on Twitter, has done a lot of really great fundamental work. Posted this a couple weeks ago, and it's a really cool chart about these different DEX protocols. Excuse me, and it shows fees to DEX volumes, and he says discuss. And he actually posted the full sheet that he built using the Artemis plugin, which provides all this information from total value locked to fully diluted valuation to fees to market cap to TVL. And it's a really cool analysis that allows us to think a little bit more critically about, oh wow, like maybe Uniswap actually is cheap. Their fees to volume is the closest is the lowest on this page, and there's reasons why that might be the case, but they potentially are under monetizing, and Joe is kind of in a very different category where they're generating way more fees than their volume suggests might be appropriate. But we love seeing this kind of work from the community, and obviously got a great number of views and shares on online. Another one is Sam Andrew, who is a phenomenal kind of research analyst and does a lot of deep fundamental work. He's built out this entire sheet using the Artemis plugin, and that's operating metrics on Ethereum, understanding daily active users, ETH staked, market metrics from TVL to transactions per daily active user, and kind of walking through a fundamental analysis of Ethereum, as well as looking at daily active users across the different L2 networks, all using Artemis. And this is what really honestly makes us happy that our product is able to help deliver. And he's built this full Ethereum income statement about how Ethereum is accruing value and the net income that we should be thinking about when looking at Ethereum's kind of burn and priority fees paid to validators. So all of this we're going to share after the presentation, as well as the underlying spreadsheets. So that's something that we're excited to do. Another one that we love referring to is another analyst that we love referring to is Tumlet, who is actually joining Spartan Group as an investment analyst this summer. And we're really happy to hear that. And hopefully, the Artemis plugin played a small role in helping him do some of the analysis for that. But he's done kind of a lot of work around a number of things. This one is Gamblify. So he's looking at a number of different gambling protocols and understanding. This actually looks like he potentially built it off like the Artemis template, where he looked through a number of different chains, tracked some fundamental information about the investors and the unlocks, the seed price, and ultimately helped get to kind of a fundamental view on whether or not these protocols were interesting to invest in. So he's done a lot of really great work throughout a number of different categories. And you can also see he's got kind of the historical data running across in the same way that we had in our sheet on Excel. But he's done work around Gamblify. He's done work around liquid staking derivatives, which is also obviously a really important part of the ecosystem. And he's also done a lot of really great work around bridges. So that's something that we're absolutely going to share with the community as well. And the last thing is, we're very thankful for folks that kind of utilize our product and walk through use cases for it. And this is Emperor Osmo, who is another great analyst that we've seen in the community. And he walks through using the screener and the activity monitor to find some interesting tokens and projects. He actually highlights Stargate, which we also found today in his walkthrough. So we'll share all of this again after the presentation and during the workshops that we'll be having later in May and June. With that, I want to turn it back to the team here. And I think we want to take the last 10 minutes to answer any questions in the chat, or if there's anything else we can be helpful with.
Jimmy, that was awesome. Huge tool, and there's so much possible. I was a bit amazed. Definitely to the people in the chat, drop your questions and Jimmy will be answering them. Personally, my interest was very much piqued by the look at layer twos that you were showing us, especially Arbitrum, everything that's going on there. We did a Twitter Spaces about that last week, actually, because I mean the airdrop, but then also everything following that, there was much ado, let's say. So that was awesome. And then you shared some work from analysts that are actually already using Artemis in a great way. So I guess that kind of leads me to my question, like just like personal curiosity, I guess. What would you personally would like to see from analysts that they would use Artemis for? So what type of work would you like to see created with Artemis?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, this is a two-way street, and we're trying to also find out the questions that analysts care about and build the tooling that they want and need. So from from some of the stuff that I shared, we built closely with some of these folks, and there was metrics and specific tools that they had asked for from Sam Andrew to Millet, and we wanted to help them, find the bridge transfer volumes or the staked volumes that they were looking for to build some of these models. So kind of a roundabout way to answer the question. We'd love for people to continue building, Google Sheets and posting these analyses on Twitter, and sharing these templates and the analyses that we've done, given that it very much is a world where, your analysis could influence someone else and make an impact on how they think about the market. And that's something that we're allowing for in this, very community-driven world of crypto.
Yeah, for sure. And you mentioned one of those analysts joining the Spartan group, which is a huge deal. And
Yeah.
it's awesome for you guys, I bet, to be like collabing with an analyst like that and him providing you feedback as well for like,
Yeah.
hey, this is what I'm working on. This is what I would like to see. So okay, so if I get it right, it's very much like a back and forth, and you would love like input from the community.
Exactly.
We love to hear that. So if people are in chat right now or watching this replay, um, then definitely feel free to drop that input. What are some good places for that to do? I'll drop your website and Twitter in the chat. What are some other what would you like? What are other places people can find you?
Yeah, we have a community Telegram chat that we are quite active in. So I'll drop that for you as well, and we can share that with folks, so that we can engage with the community in that forum.
Sounds good. Bit of a more personal, intimate channel with your community, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Telegram.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, Maybe do we have time for a final question? You want to take another one?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
happy to. I see
Yeah, I
I'm
see
looking
your
at
questions.
from DeFi guy. Hey man, how to track organic GitHub repos activity and compare with deployed contracts. There's blockchains with high dev activity but low rate of deployed contracts. Yeah, appreciate that question. That's something our team is definitely still thinking about. We don't have a way to do it right now, but this is exactly the kind of comment that we're looking for. It's feedback for the existing product and something that we can improve upon. So we'll get back to you. I know you're in our community chat, so we'll definitely get back to you there.
It's nice to see that you already recognize them. So you're definitely in touch with the group of people who are using your product. That's nice to see. Love that. Okay, I got one final question, maybe like
Yeah.
personally again. Um, yeah, just yeah. So I'm wondering. Of course, you gave the presentation, but maybe like as a to summarize, let's say, what would be the thing that really sets Artemis apart from other Web3 data tools?
Yeah, no, it's a great question, and the honest answer is there's a lot of really great products out there, and we work very closely with a lot of the other products that are developing, interesting data sets, as well as serving institutional analysts and investors. I would say that in our minds, it's still very much a collaborative game. Like we're all still trying to figure it out together and understand, what are the metrics that matter. And like we have our perspective, but we very much talk to both analysts and other data providers to figure out really what does matter. So like there's a lot of great open source projects that focus on, DeFi, TVL specifically, and there's other projects that focus on fees and revenues, and everyone has kind of a perspective about what the right way to look at the crypto ecosystem is. And I think our honest answer is we're curious and just hungry to learn and learn with the community. And that's what I'd say is one of the factors that I think has driven our product to the place that it is today.
Awesome. So not just a tool made for the community, but also
With the community.
With the community, exactly. Okay, love that. All right.
Awesome.
Awesome, Jimmy. I think I want to thank you for today.
Yeah,
For that
thank you so much for having
awesome
us.
presentation. Yeah, for sure, no doubt. We love that. That's what MetricsDAO does. We like to give a platform for, well, the whole Web3 data community, as well like analysts, as well as like data providers, builders of tools. Um, so awesome. Very, very glad to be, in this together, and that we can help each
Absolutely.
other out here. Very much looking forward to the next session, to that workshop. Let's see what else there's in store. We dropped the link to that in the chat for the people watching it. So definitely register there to claim your spot. Jimmy, thank you. Thank you to your whole team as well.
Thank you.
Thank you for everyone in the audience who's being here and listening in, checking in. And yeah, see you next time.
See you next time. Thank you so much. Take care.
Awesome. Take care.